Okay, everybody, we're going to watch a quick video. This happened a few weeks ago at a Walmart in Ohio, Canton, Ohio. You've got two shoplifters that go into the store, apparent shoplifters, and supposedly take some items, are confronted by police as they exit. I saw a couple of other videos where it shows that there was a quick pat down in kind of the area right outside the office, and then they were brought into the office. And when they're brought into the office, you may or may not have seen this clip. It's pretty wild. So what you're looking at is a camera view straight from the desk. These are the two parties there.
You watched you walk over and put an item in the bag off the shelf.
This happens every day. Shoplifting happens every day. This doesn't always happen every day. Yeah. Yeah, Shane. Oh my goodness. So anyway, this dumbass character had a firearm in his like a waistband or where the jacket is, and the officer does do a pat down, and I'm not entirely sure how that one got by. But the amazing part is going to be your asset protection guy who jumps on him and grabs the gun. So he brings the gun up and he goes to fire and it clicks, which is kind of indicative of I don't have a round in the chamber. It is the worst sound you want to hear in a gunfight is the click and nothing happening. And so he goes to shoot the officer, dead to rights. I mean, he surprised him. He's probably looking down at some sort of paperwork or looking at something, and click. The asset protection guy, who apparently was a former Marine and has a pretty decent history, jumps on this guy, is able to grab the firearm and pull it down away from the officer, who is at that point has drawn his firearm, getting ready to shoot. Now, if you look at this still right here, this is why the officer doesn't fire. You've got the female to the right. You've got the asset guy on top of him. And if he would have fired at him, he might have got a headshot. He might have got a kind of left shoulder, chest area shot. But penetration and the way rounds will break up and go every which way, who knows what would have happened there. That's just assuming that he had a perfect placement of shot. And police officers don't aim for shoulders. They don't aim for legs. They don't aim for tires to try to disable things in people. That's just Hollywood nonsense. Okay, they aim center mass. They're aiming to put down the threat, and at this point, he was a major threat. But unfortunately, for the officer that was trying to get that shot in there to disable the threat, fortunately for him, the asset protection guy's on top of him. So the gun falls, and if you watch the video and you kind of like slow it down and you look at different things, the firearm drops and the officer holsters like almost immediately. And because he recognizes that the threat is now gone and he has been disabled essentially, and comes in with the Mortal Kombat knee to the face, Street Fighter knee to the face, and just hits him real good. And then follows up with a couple punches real quick, just to make sure that he is done. He is not going to fight. Grabs him, throws him on the ground, and there's kind of an extended view, wide frame of this camera that shows them doing a little wrestling on the ground. This guy here does not only the amazing job of stopping the guy from killing the police officer, but he also goes up to the officer who's wrestling with this guy on the ground and says, "Do you want me to help you?" Which is what every security guard should do. And so he goes, he says, do you need help? He says, yes. He jumps in, grabs his legs, and then there's another asset protection person off to the left, I think in this frame here, and he jumps in and helps hold him down while he handcuffs him. So pretty wild video. We'll play it again. It's pretty wild video. Skip just a little bit because a little chit chat here. This just comes down to officer awareness, searching your prisoners, I will say before I continue this, I was in a similar situation, not really, but I was in FTO at the time in law enforcement, and I went to a Kmart. And they still had those, and so I went and it was a shoplifter, nothing deal, minimum items taken, just absolutely nonsense. And so I started doing the paperwork, and the FTO was like, "Hey, are you going to search them?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess I probably should, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, you always search them." And they're under arrest. They're under arrest for investigation of theft and shoplift. And so I go to search them, and I find a knife on them. That FTO gave me that knife. I still have that knife to this day. It was a constant reminder that it doesn't matter how minimal this is, do exactly what you do in every scenario. And so, uh, I would hope that similar incidents like this don't happen because we get to learn from them.
Using data bursts, please.
5550.
Hey! Hey! No! 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 Get back! Get back! No! 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 No!
Puts the gun away immediately. I mean, that was excellent recognition of the fact that he's not a threat now, in the sense that he doesn't have the firearm. He's still a threat, and he can still get to the firearm. I think the asset guy goes down and moves it kind of away, but pretty phenomenal response. And Walmart should be promoting this guy and doing all sorts of things for this guy. Uh, it's stuff like this happens with security, and sometimes you may get fired because of it, even though you did the right thing. And so I hope everything's well for him. I did reach out to this asset protection guy on Facebook. He did not respond, so that's fine. I was going to try to get him on the podcast and do a full episode, but yeah, pretty wild. The female, supposedly by the news article I read, she had some rounds in her pocket that fit the firearm, same caliber and everything, and same ammo that was in the firearm. So was she aware that he was armed? Maybe. If she was and failed to kind of disclose that information and say anything, it might be on her a little bit. And it probably would have been even more so had there been an actual shooting and a police officer died. I can guarantee she'd be charged as an accessory as well. So, yeah, now he went from a minor shoplift of a few items to attempted murder. Good job, moron. So I hope they keep him in prison for the rest of his life. They say cops can't be victims, so we'll see how hard they push on him and what he gets out of it. So anyway, keep making those wild videos, keep sending them to me. I'm gonna keep pumping these out. Thanks.